is one of the most important aspects of life. And as we are here tonight, oh Lord, we pray that you will bless this program. And we pray that when we leave here, we leave a blessing and the knowledge that family will come first. Amen.
Amen.
Welcome to the family. We're glad that you have come to share your life with us as we grow in love, and may we always be to you what God would have us be, a family always there to be strong and to lean on. Welcome to the family. We're glad that you have come to share your life with us as we grow in love, and may we always be to you what God would have us be, a family always there to be strong and to lean on. May we learn to love each other more with each new day. May ways of love be on our lips in everything we say. May your Spirit guard our hearts and teach us how to pray, that we may be a true family. Welcome to the family. We're glad that you have come to share your life with us as we grow in love, and may we always be to you what God would have us be, a family always there to be strong and to lean on. May we learn to love each other more with each new day. May words of love be on our lips in everything we say. May our Spirit guard our hearts and teach us how to pray, that we might be a true family. Welcome to the family. We're glad that you have come to share your life with us as we grow in love, and may we always be to you what God would have us be, a family always there to be strong and to lean on, to be strong and to lean on, to be strong and to lean on.
All right. We will now have the fun facts by Miss Shaw.
Okay, good night, everyone, and welcome to our first night of our Family Life program. Tonight, we'll be focusing on a Bible character. Our story today is about a very brave woman who travels very far in a strange land. Some people may say she's a symbol of being loyal. Some people may call her a loving stranger. Hmm, I wonder who is this character from the Bible? People often describe the book of Ruth as a love story. But the story unfolds, we realize that it is more than love between two people. It's about God's amazing love for all of mankind. The story took place in the midst of a great hardship and tragic loss. The story focuses on loyalty and faithfulness. The starkly contrasts the pagan Moabite culture from which Ruth originated. This story also this story is also a clear example of God's faithfulness in bringing about his plan of redemption using unexpected partners in an amazing way. Ruth remained faithful to God and he blessed her with a job and a husband. Ruth is a perfect example of being a loving, patient woman who in return was blessed and is filled with gratitude. This lesson from the book of Ruth teaches us that Ruth suffered a great loss. When it seemed that all hope was lost, she found love again. God used Boaz to point us to Jesus the Redeemer, who died on the cross for our sins, was buried, and rose again. All who put their faith in Jesus' sacrifice for sins are redeemed and adopted into God's family. Tonight, our topics ask, till death do us part, then what? Sometimes it seems that there is no life after death of a loved one. When the rain falls down, when it all turns around, when the light goes out, this isn't the end. Tonight, I urge us to keep trusting in God as Ruth did. Eliminate the negative. Be easier on yourself. Be patient with the process and pray. The future is a mystery and everything goes. Love is confusing. Life is hard. You fight to survive because you made it this far. It's all too astounding to comprehend. But remember, it's just the beginning. This isn't the end.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shaw. Till death do us part. Then what? This evening, our program takes place in the form of a panel discussion. But before we continue, we will be blessed with special music.
Remembering so well the day that I met you, you took me in your arms and caused dreams to come true from the fear of what would be. You came and rescued me, Lord. I pray today the hills that I must climb, some high and some low, but if you leave, I'll go, and at the end I'll see you are always there with me. Lord, I pray today for the rest of my life. Live inside my heart. Please stay for always, to the timeless place when we're face to face, and we embrace for always. Lord, I pray today for the rest of my life. Live inside my heart. Please stay for always, till that timeless place when we're face to face, and we embrace for always, for always, for always.
Okay, at this time, I invite our panelists to join us, and they will each introduce themselves to our audience this evening.
I am Dora Cole. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening to all. Jasmine Alfred.
Okay, thank you. And we have our other panelists that need to let us know who they are.
Yes, I'm Ursula Leslie.
Okay, thank you very much, and welcome to our discussion this evening. So we are going straight into it. I will ask the question, and then you will answer in any particular order. I'll be calling someone. Okay, so the first question. Okay, you could just mute the mic until you are ready to answer. So our first question this evening to the panelists: how many years were you married for? How many years were you married for? We could start with Sister Collier and then we go on from there.
38 years.
Thank you.
Did you hear, sister? 38 years.
38 years. We
38.
got that.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Sister Alfred.
I was married for 15 years and 9 months.
Okay, thank you. And Leslie?
You muted.
Sorry.
Well,
I was married for 29 years.
and good evening. This is Elder Leslie. I was married for 41 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing with us. Now, tell me, what happens after losing a loved one? Okay, Leslie, I see you all are unmuted, so you can go ahead with the question, with your answers.
Can we see ourselves? We're not seeing our picture. Could you somebody adjust this thing?
Okay, could our technician please address that? Okay, I think you are there now.
Yes.
I don't know if it's on our end. We're still not viewing ourselves. We don't know why.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Right. And you are visible from our
But
screen.
we cannot see ourselves.
Oh, you are visible already, so I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing them.
Yes, we are seeing you. Okay, should I repeat the question?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I was asking, what happens after losing a loved one?
Okay. Let me just really bring to our audience that the question is an interesting one, and just to let the audience know that I was married before and lost my wife some 5 years ago. So I am setting a platform, and in losing a loved one at that point in life, it creates a void. It's kind of really makes you feel empty. Although friends and families will come and circle around you at a point in time or for some time, after you are left to wonder, and you're left with kind of a decision making of how to really fill that void. And having been married for a number of years, and have lost your companion, that's where the difficulty. You start reflecting on your life with your companion. You start looking at your bright days, your sad days, especially and particularly days of illness. It is mixed with a feeling of it brings, especially you had some fulfilling days. So all this kind of keep clogging your mind, and you are left to ask yourself so many questions at that point in time.
Thank you.
For me, it was after I lost my husband, it was
an emptiness, a real emptiness flooded my soul because we were used to just spending a lot of time together, laughing. Then when you enter the house, you had to share a joke for the day. You had to talk about the events of your, how the day went by. And there was always like, sweetie, let me tell you something. You always had something looking forward to coming home. Now you are coming to the house. When you enter, that laughter is no longer there. That welcoming smile, that is not there, and this emptiness is just filling your soul. You meet people on the street, you laugh, you talk, but you enter the house, there's a sadness. And it's not an easy, like a coldness that greets you when you enter the house. You actually see, it's like, for me, I could see images of my husband. I could hear his voice walking in the corridor. It was just a bit of real loneliness that I could have to deal with.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, I said I was married for 58 years. I lost my husband for almost 5 years now. After you lose a loved one or your spouse especially, you feel lost. You're in denial. You're trying to wonder if it's a dream. And then eventually you have to just probably accept it, but not with much pain. Losing a loved one, especially a spouse, is not easy. And the most I can say is like denial. It's not true. It's not true. And in my case, when I lost my husband, I was called like about 1 o'clock in the morning. And the way it was done, it was like, whatever you are doing, Robin, and so is calling, and wife of Walter Robin is, well, he passed. I say, pass, go away. Pass, go away. So then they had to come and take over from the foreign person who was talking, and then she did it differently. And then I said, but I left my husband good. So how you can tell me he passed? And then, as I couldn't even cry, because I was still thinking that's a dream to me. That is not true. And eventually, some tears came, and then I was just feeling weak. And sometimes I feel you can explain, I feel you can explain. Until gradually, you try to accept it.
Okay, thank you, sis. Go ahead.
Yeah. Everybody basically said the same thing. Yes, there. After I lost my husband, there was an emptiness. Still is an emptiness. I don't think that I don't want to say I don't think, but it's like nothing except from God and Jesus' love and my relationship with Him. There's nothing else that can fill that gap where I lose my husband. The sad part of it is, yeah, I have friends, I have church people. We would go out, like, especially I have my friend Henrietta. I guess all of you know her. We are very close. So she's one of the person that would keep me close. So we would go out, we go on dinners and so. But at the end of the day, when I go home, there's nobody to talk to. I mean, I have my kids, but some of the conversation I want to have and joke, and so I really cannot really get that from them. So there was an emptiness, still is an emptiness. I don't want to say I live in a dream, but sometimes I feel like it's a dream that he went. But only God knows. Only God knows.
Only God knows.
Only
Thank
God
you
knows
very
indeed.
much.
Thanks for sharing, everybody. How long did it take you to accept the loss? And we can go in any order. as to anybody that wants to go first. How long did it take you to accept the loss?
Okay.
Probably, okay, sorry.
I
Go ahead.
I'm still trying because it has just been a year and a month since my husband died. So I'm still trying to accept. Yes, I know he died. I know all about what the Bible said, the dead in Christ shall rise, but I still trying to put together why he had to die and to get hold of, yes, he died and Jasmine life has to go on. And yes, I know all of that, but I still have this feeling. I don't know. I tried my best to let go of it, but it keeps coming back and coming back. So I still in accepting he's dead, and it might take me some time, but that's my journey. I have to go through it.
Well, like me, it's almost immediately because I had planned to go down Rosary Wednesday morning. The same morning they called me and told me that he died. I didn't go again. And then his body was rushed to me first, so we didn't even have time to see him at the hospital. So he wasn't there. He had gone to a dead home. So it's only dead that goes down there, except you go to see your dead. You understand? So I had to just accept that he was dead. It wasn't easy, but I had to accept that he was dead.
Okay. So to the Leslie's.
When I got a call that Sabbath morning, 4 a.m., I was up, getting ready to go to the hospital because I used to get there very early, like 5:30 in the morning. And doctor called. I was like, yes, that's what she said doing. Can you come to the hospital now? I said, yes, I'm getting ready. And then I said, what happened? Um, he says, your husband took a turn. I said, uh-huh. And like I just started to tremble. I said, don't tell me, because I mean, I know the business, they try to tell you, they take a turn and then they prepare your minds. I jumped the gun. I said, well, are you telling me that he's gone? And then he paused and he said, would like you to come? I said, tell me. And I started to scream, and I said, Lord, is that really true? Anyway, I got ready. I went up to the hospital and I watched him. I just couldn't say, but why? I prayed for last night. I told you I was coming back to bring your soup for you. You couldn't wait till I come, and I started quarreling and I was angry, literally angry at the moment. And I said, well, God, why? I really expected a turn back, and and then I just had to sit down, and folks with me, my sister and family with me, still trying to calm me and keep me collective. And then eventually I said, well, it's it's really gone. And I saw them took that body away, and it was like really heart-wrenching when that body really left. Yes, he's really gone. They can't bring him back for me. They cannot bring him back. And I accepted that he was dead then, but reality, leaving the hospital and knowing I don't have to go to hospital tomorrow morning, the morning after, I was like, still, you mean he really gone? I've been out going to hospital back and forth for the past 3 months. It was still, I still felt like I had to do something at the hospital. And I really realized I can't go back there because he's really gone. And I just sat down there trying to see how I could accept it. And so I realized that he was gone for sure on the very first day. But to accept it, maybe about a good 4 months after, I really came to realization that, yes, I can accept it. But about 4 months after, I could accept that he was really gone.
Yeah, from my experience, is rather an interesting one. My wife then was a dialysis patient for 26 years. And some of you who will understand dialysis, I think you probably start to picture certain things in your mind. So for 26 years on a machine, the oldest patient up to now is the oldest patient in Dominica to live that long on a dialysis machine. So throughout the 26 years, it had been a very challenging time. It's not just being on the dialysis machine. There were quite a lot of medical attention and surgeries. So even if death surprises, we never really concentrate and contemplate and discuss it in depth. We knew that once a patient is on dialysis, and for all those years, we have quite a lot of experiences of other persons who were on in Barbados, Trinidad, Barbados, Guadeloupe. We knew anything could happen. As a matter of fact, my wife then even prepared herself for it by even writing a eulogy and everything else. So we lived, I kind of lived in fear for some time and not knowing what would happen and what is going to happen. But she didn't pass there, and she passed in the French island of Guadeloupe, which made it a little more challenging. But in terms of a time factor, it took a toll, a very, very challenging period. I would say it's a matter of months, 5, 6 months. The thing is, you know that the person is dead, but memories still keep coming at you. And then at a point in time, I told myself, well, that is it. And challenges and suffering are over. But I can say if I have to put a time frame, it's probably about 6 months and saying, well, yes, that's it. What next for me?
Okay, everybody, thanks for just to highlight the fact that I cannot say that I in the position of anybody on the panel, but just to think of it, sometime my wife will go up because I mean she's from Wesley, from Marigot, but we live in Tong, and she will just go up for one day. And while I'm at home by myself, sometime I say, my God, I miss my wife so much for one day. So I just kind of get in the feeling how, because it's not easy to know you're going through the day and she's there with you and we're doing things together. And then when the night come, certain things, I normally fall asleep on the chair and she'll wake me up at a certain time and all things like that. Just to think of the fact that that will not happen. It kind of boils down to the whole feeling of the whole thing. So it's not an easy road. Okay, Jai, I just think I should just share that as we on that.
Okay, and I realized that no two persons had the same took the same time. So we are all different and we deal with things differently. We take, different amounts of time to deal with certain situations. Okay, now what methods or what processes did you use to cope during this time? Mr. Collier, I'll start with you. What processes or methods you used to cope during that span of time?
Well, remembering the good, the bad, and the ugly times we had. Having discussion among us, children as well, and myself, having discussion among us, talking about him, talking about his life, talking about what he did, what he should have done, what he could have done. Just discussing. And I always hear him say that when he gets sick, not even just simple sickness, but sickness where he's not able to help himself, he doesn't want to be a burden to anybody. And he always used to say he wouldn't live long, I will die young. We used to try to tell him, why are you saying that for you die young once? But then when it happened, we say God answered his prayer because he always saying he don't want to be a burden and you don't give nobody trouble when you see fall sick, sick to incapable of helping himself. So, and sometimes when I would look at his picture, I would say, so he just die and he just leave me there. I say, what are you doing, you know? So now I would talk to his picture. And, you know, just remembering him. Well, that's it.
Okay, coping mechanisms I use. Literally every single day I speak something about my past husband. Especially the fun things, silly things, and if I talking with church members or with friends, it's like a laughter, and I would feel so nice. I would feel that. But when I go home and I have some pictures of him in my room, nice big pictures of him in my room, I'd watch them. I think, but Aliso, Ali, you really go. So you really, really, really go. You really go and you leave me there. And I'm making noise, you know. I'm making noise and I still laughing at the same time. I said, so honey, you leave me there with you. If there's 4 children, who in high school, who in university, who start high school, what do you expect me to do? And I make a big noise, you know. But I like one thing that really make me feel good and I don't feel broken or anything is like when we church people, especially when I speak with Henrietta, we will just talk about the fun things about Ali, the crazy things. When I say crazy, Ali was a jovial person. He was an everybody person. So we talk about all the nonsense he would say, and then I could almost hear his voice laughing some foolishness. And I have some videos. The kids also have some videos of him doing nonsense. Either he's singing, either he's playing an instrument. We have a video. One video I always watch, and I watch it, and by myself I laugh. I killing myself laugh. We have this video when Mario was passing, and he was like, it making me laugh when I remember it. He was like, recording for CNN radio, CNN news. Don't try this at home, and water in the house, and Mario blowing and Ali making a big fun of it, you know, and it's the way his eyes bulging out and the way he put his thing. So it was just so funny. So sometimes when I really want a good laugh, I would just look at this video. So these are some of the things that help me in taking all this grief and this working with. I try to work with myself, something like that.
Okay, different coping methods. Sister Leslie, in case you are speaking, you are muted, eh?
Sorry for that. Yes, coping mechanism, something similar to my sister Alfred's experience. I'm a picture girl. I like pictures. I take pictures. I have pictures in all kind of occasions, whether funny position, anything. I have pictures to remind me. And we had this during the hurricane, especially. I don't know how it happened. This one wasn't done willfully. It just happened that we had a conversation and that was taped, recorded, and I did not even know that. So when I was going through my phone, I wanted this video. I said, "What is that about?" And he was just laughing and talking about our experience the night of the hurricane, and his voice was like he was just sitting by me. So every day I come from work, I would just put on that video. And I was like, yes, sweet. Yes, talk to me. Talk. And I would just listen to him. And I would laugh. I would look to see if he's really there. I know he's not there, but I would still look. And sometimes when I'm sharing the lunch, I would take out a plate for him and I'll put it there. I said, Jay, your lunch. And I would watch him plate by on the table. I'll watch it. I'll sit on my table with his plate filled, and mine is, and I put on the video. I could hear his voice. And I had a marriage video. I would put it on, and I would just listen to him and just laugh. Also, there was also the joke that he would give his daughter. He and Nanika had this close bond. And I would just remember things he would tell Nanika. Nanika would say, Daddy! And I would literally hear Nanika saying, Daddy! When we enter the house, I would just, although Nanika was not there, she had traveled just after the death to Cuba. And that was the other emptiness that I had. Not having Nanika, not having Trider in the house, and just there like that, missing them, plus missing him. I would just imagine hearing her say, Daddy, and you say, yeah, babes, and the laughter, just burst laughing. And that would help me to cope with it. And constantly going to that phone and listen to the number of videos I have of him and hearing his voice was just helping me to cope. Or somebody told me, a counselor told me, you need to stop playing that video because eventually you don't have that video, you'll get sick. I said, no, I don't get sick. Eventually I get over it. What helped me get over it? Like I guess somebody entered my house and stole the phone, that phone of all the memories, and I had to cope otherwise. So, um, yes, that was my coping mechanism. Just listening to his voice, watching his pictures, and they would bring joy to me because we had a lot of fun memories. And the good thing about it in that marriage, I hardly had a bad life. I cannot say we had a bad life. So there were lots of good memories, good things to talk about. So I just thought of all the good times we had, the times we would to river and he would just, cook by the river and we would just have fun. I remembered all those good times and that helped me to really cook.
Okay, my share of it is I comforted myself by the number of sermons I preach and scripture, and there are a lot of encouragement that I give people, others who were in similar situations. So I give myself comfort by that, and I said to myself at some point in time, look here, I'm in a situation, and I give so many comforting words to others. A lot of my sermons that come into my mind, preaching and so forth. So a counselor attempted to speak to me just once for probably a 15 minutes phone call. And it was not a request, but I guess that counselor, being a family member, knew the situation and attempted to. We spoke for just about 15 minutes. And interestingly enough, I noticed the counselor's approach was trying to find out how am I coping with it and so forth. It was a short interview. It was pretty good because I told myself, here is somebody that is concerned. Also, the support system in the church, you find quite a lot of friends provided that kind of support system, immediate families as well. So during that time, they helped cope. Well, again, my daughter was with me, so we remained in the house so we could share experiences. But it's a blessing when you have a large and extended family. And in addition to that, you have overseas persons supportive of my previous wife family on the other side who would drop in or who would call and that type of it, that aspect of it. So that's basically how I used to cope. In addition to that, I found myself doing quite a lot of my work. I'm talking about in my job, getting myself active and doing things. Off and on, I would reflect back on pictures, just looking at the picture for some point in time and so forth. So that's the approach, right?
Okay, nice. So good pictures, and you're just reminiscing so many good times that you had. So I noticed that we all had different ways to cook. And the good thing that we could find different cooking mechanisms.
Very good.
Sister, I need to add here
Okay.
that my children, a good support system. And not so much from family, extended family, but my children, they were a good support, and are still a good support system. And I put myself into working right to work. So it's work from sun up till sundown, working. So I can probably just forget.
Okay. So we see a number of people did different things. Just moving on. What was your support system like? You know, during that time, what was your support system like? And we can start with Miss Alfred. What was your support system like?
Okay. First of all, my parents were and still is my back. So my parents, they would call me like every day when my husband had just died. They would call me like every day. Just me okay? This train all right? My family on both sides, mother and father side, they would always check up on me. Oversee friends, schoolmates, classmates. It was like overwhelming. Imagine this, Ali's classmates at this school, which I don't know, maybe I just know a few of them. Most of them reach out to me. I wondering, but how these people got my number? Anyway, they reach out to me, and I really felt, I felt touched by this. Certainly. My children, even if sometimes they too needed some help, they would tell me, especially Alia, which is my youngest, she was like, Mommy, don't worry about that. Daddy died. You're going to miss him. Alia was 10 years when Ali died. And the encouragement that my 10-year-old gave me, it was really surprising. Knowing that she was like his, I wouldn't say favorite, but they were very close. She was like, Mommy, don't worry. Daddy, when Jesus comes, we have to live faithful. And when Jesus comes, we're going to see Daddy again. So, Mommy, don't worry. Don't cry. You can cry and you can stop. And don't worry about it. And it was like, I was like so encouraged knowing that my little 10-year-old encouraging me. And then church members, my pastor, at that time it was Pastor Joseph. He was like my big brother. Pastor Joseph would make sure, sis, the children, you have stuff for the children, you have things of lunch, you have, I say, Pastor, you have plantain, Pastor will pass and he'll just plantain for me. You know, I like plantain, he'll just plantain for me. And that would be so, I would feel so touched by that. Church members, and especially, I cannot not stop calling her name, Henrietta. She has always and is continuing to be there for me every time through my journey of grief. I don't want to say I am, I don't want to say I'm grieving, but sometimes I do grieve sometimes. But Henrietta is one of the person that has really stood by me through my husband death, and she has continually been there for me ever since his death up till now.
My support system came from a wide range. Um, I had a young lady when my children were babies. She was taking care of my children. She migrated to Antigua, and the day he died, she called to tell me that she would be in Dominica, and she did come. She spent 3 weeks with me, and that was a real great support because like sometimes I would be there and like I'd be far, and she would give me some joke to make me laugh. My sisters, they kept me close to the spray home. She's really almost like my neighbor, just one house between us. Fortunately for us, though my other siblings are all the way in Benz, but the fact that I had this one sister close by, that was fantastic. And an aunt who doesn't live too far from us either would come up very often to spend the evening with me. And I have an adopted son. He too tried to keep me calm. He just a simple question, Miss, you okay? You all right? You want me to do anything for you? Just to keep me going. And church members, sometimes Sister Mears will call me, Sister Edwin, what are you doing this afternoon? Let's go take a drive. Let's go somewhere. Those little things help to just take me away from the loneliness and the grief that I was going through. Now I have a sister, I call her my sister. She's a Vincent. She met her in Trinidad when we were studying, and she just treats me like a sister. And she called me every day and every night to make sure I was well. Um, Sometimes you get me annoyed is when a member would tell me, Sister, all things was work together for good to them that love God. I used to really get angry when people tell me that. I said, what is good in having to lose your husband? There's nothing good in it. Don't tell me that text again, please. So I started looking for other texts that would make me feel happy. So that when people tell me that in my head, I'll repeat something else, you know? And that support system, had it not been for these people in my life, maybe it would be more traumatic for me. But it's good when you have that. Individuals can look out for you. One of the things that used to I didn't say it earlier, it was very bad. Coping mechanism was chocolates. Chocolate for me was like it was like when I eat a chocolate, I would just feel like everything is gone. I have no worries. And I just fell for this thing called chocolate. I just went into my past. I just have make sure I have a chocolate in my bag. And once I eat it, I go. And I had this friend. She knew that I was going through that phase, and she brought me this box with almost 34 chocolates. And I sat down and I said, "But wait, Estrella, you will just get fat and you will get sick with this chocolate." I told myself, "No, you have to get away from that kind of burpee on chocolate." And one day when I entered my daughter's bedroom, I saw she sent something under the bed. So I was like very suspicious. So I bent my head over and I saw chocolate wrapping and I just started to cry. I said, "Sweetheart, you have that same problem that mommy is having." Well, mommy, when I eat the chocolate, I feeling good, I'm thinking of daddy again. And we just held each other and we started crying. And I said, okay, we have to support each other and forget that chocolate. We'll just kill ourselves with that chocolate and we just stop. What we had, we helped give away and we just got over it. And we started support each other a little better then. And so support system is really wonderful. When you have persons who look out for you, even with a call, even if it's let's go for a drive, a joke here and there, it really helped to soothe the pain. And that was what I had for my support.
Well, as I see I've jumped in, but as I said, my children and the greener ways used to support me a lot and pray, sometimes singing. Remember some of the songs he used to sing, and then we would sing them or I would sing them. Sometimes it's part of it I know, but I would still sing it home and say, Dad used to sing that song. But prayer and my children, they were really supportive. And I think that helped me and us on a whole to go through this grieving process.
Okay, thank you very much. And From this, we can see that really, indeed, a strong support system is very important in these trying times. And just going back to something that Sister Leslie mentioned, and I really wish that more people would be a little more sensitive, a little more mindful, when individuals are going through these times. You have to be, careful with what you say to people. God never give you anything that you can't bear. And the text that she mentioned, and so many other things that we just say, like, just saying it, like just cliche. We have to be very careful, because in times like these, you don't know fully what the person is going through. At least sometimes it's best to just be quiet and the person know that you are there.
I know your pain.
All right. You don't know the person's pain because you are not going through it. Everybody deals with things differently. So I just wish that people would be a little more sensitive to other people's feelings in this time. Okay. Now, you all have children. So just share with us. I think some of you mentioned it already along the way, but for those of you especially who didn't, just share with us, how did the loss affect your children?
Well, maybe I am the person with the youngest set of children in this group. My kids, first of all, it messed up in school. It was just chaos. It was just chaos. My kids go to grammar school, and the principal always calls me. She always calls. There's also a counselor who would always check up on them. And even now they're still doing counseling, because there was an incident at school 2 weeks ago where this child was like bullying my daughter about her father that died, and oh my, it was they both my daughter and son, they were out of it. They started crying, they couldn't concentrate on school. They had classes in the afternoon, they couldn't even stay back. It was just Alj, which is my eldest son. He is the one that is more, I should say, I don't want to say smarter, but he's the one that is more alert at school and more. He would get higher grades than the others. And that year, Ali died. I don't know, I pressured him a bit. But when the teacher spoke to me, the teacher told me, please do not pressure him. I knew it was because of the death. Because right now they are as time goes by, they are getting over it. And I can see their grades are getting better. Even Alian, AJ, the two last ones, I have seen improvement in their grades as well. My children, moods. It would just, out of the blues, they would just, especially AJ, which is the second boy. He's a person, he's very moody, but he would just, if we speak about Ali and he's in area where you would hear conversation, the child would just shut down and go in like a cocoon, and you don't want to speak to nobody, and it's still happening. It's still happening. I don't know. They are doing counseling at school still. It has been a year, but they are still doing counseling at school. Sometimes I don't know how to deal with it. I'm like, AJ, why are you doing that? The child will just shut down and he won't speak to nobody. And AJ, what is your problem? What is wrong with you? Nothing. But I know it's because he overheard a conversation about his father. And he came to me and he told me, Mommy, I just don't like to hear anybody speak about that. I said, well, AJ, it's good things we're talking about, Daddy. He said he don't care. Once they mention his father, he gets very emotional, and I'm still working on them, and they are still doing counseling at school, and I'm really trying with them. But their moods have changed a lot. I've seen a little improvement in the school grades, which had gone down really low after Ali. But they are trying their best. I'm seeing they're trying their best. But yeah. Another thing, AJ, which is my second son, he likes to hear me say, "You looking like your father," or "You dress. Oh, look at how you dress like your daddy." There's one particular dressing, a gray pants and a plaid shirt. That child used that shirt for 4 consecutive summers and that pants. I was like, AJ, but you have other clothes, mommy. Because everybody tell him in church, boy, you looking like your father. Boy, that clothes is just like your father own. That shoe, same thing like your father. The boy using the shoe squeezing him. The boy using the shoe, the pants and the shirt over and over and over again, just because everybody tells him he looks like his dad. And he would feel nice about that. But once he hear a conversation about his father, he just gets into I don't know. I don't know if that will change after a while, but that's how it is for the time.
My daughter, as I said earlier, and my husband had this bond. My son was more attached to me, and the girl was her daddy. She was a daddy's girl. She became an adult and she remained a daddy's girl, while the son remained a mommy's girl. So she had a real rough time dealing with the death. Um, but she plays violin, and so she would play the violin a lot. I heard songs in my head. She just kept playing because she knew her father enjoyed listening to her play violin, so that was like a comfort for her. So she would just play and say, "Daddy, listen to this one." He's not there, but "Daddy, listen to this one." She just kept playing the violin. Now, for me, violin was like I love it too. It's like it puts me at rest. It keeps me calm. It keeps me collected. So while she thought she was maybe comforting herself, she was also comforting me because whenever she played the violin, I was happy. And then she stayed locked up in her room a lot. And so I will only hear when she starts playing, or I would knock and say, "Are you there?" "Yes, ma'am, I'm there, but I want to be alone." And my son, he took for out every time we just leave home. So he comes about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, "Boy, comfort to me. So when I can't stay in the house, the less time I spend in the house, the better for me." And I really wanted him to be there more for me. But for him, staying away from the house, being away from home was um, his way of dealing with it. So most times he would leave, so he would come and say, "Mommy, I'm coming home tonight." Or he would just come around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and so he would not even go to sleep, he would just be on his computer, you know, and something's around 8 in the morning, that's when he already fall asleep. That's when I'm getting ready to go to work and that kind of stuff. And eventually he left home. And when he comes back, so he would just like he sees daddy, he would see his father. This already like he feels that he sees his father, he hears his father. So like he just would go out and out and out. And I was missing him a lot. Already I don't have my husband then. Since we had that bond, it was really hard not having him home. So I tried to get him in the house by either doing something that he would like, so he would come back home and that kind of thing. But eventually he got over it, and my daughter went off to study, and books became her companion. So she got over the pain of not having a father. But she says very often when she has to do things where they will do things together, she would only give him a joke and he's not there. She would just open back a book and just read something to take him out from her mind. And I cannot say fully that she has gotten over it But when she comes on holidays, so when she has that loss, that emptiness that she feels, and that is not there to even tell him about her success and whatever like that. So it's not an easy thing. Although they were adults, children, thank God, Jasmine, I really sympathize with you. But being that they were adult, it was like a blessing for me because Nanika was 28 when her father died. I remember when she came and said, Daddy, 2026, sorry. Daddy, it's my birthday. And he held her hand and squeezed it at the hospital as the day before he died. And he held her hands and he brought it close and he kissed. And then she hugged him on the bed and he's like, I'm gonna do my special face for you to see me and whatever. And then next day he was gone. So it was like, every time her birthday comes, she remembers it. It's painful for her, but she has gotten over. I think she's getting over it. I can't say she has gotten over it altogether because every time she comes home, there is that melancholy that takes place. But by time as time goes by, she will get over it.
Yeah, for me, my children, they were already adults. Um, one does not live in Dominica. That's Leon. He lives in Trinidad and Tobago. So I cannot really comment on official view how we really cope with it. What I do know, we spent some time post the death in Trinidad. And I remember clearly when we were worshiping that Friday evening, I just happened to mention his mom name, and I noticed he left the worship room and went away. And I knew the pain he was feeling. I realized because they were very close to, so I realized he felt some pain. He came back to the worship after some time, and that was all like about roughly 2 years ago when he left the room. So although adults, I believe the kind of pain, that aspect of it. When being at home, we live together, and often on the memories of that, of the death would come and speak about it and so forth. But I would say that we kind of share the pains together. So there was some sort and supported each other. And we are pretty close. So that must have helped in the coping mechanism. But you cannot always tell everything because some things are internalized and not expressed. And more so being adults and so forth.
Well, I joined sister being sympathizing with that. Children are small. But it was very traumatic for my children, as well as I think that they just couldn't accept death of a loved one, death of their father, that they couldn't accept that. And sometimes even recently, or sometimes not even to say this year, but sometimes when they speak about him in certain aspect, they will see tears come to their eyes. And my last daughter, to me up to now, she just can't accept that. She was 26 when he died. But as she just can't, she was the only one who made a t-shirt and printed his picture on it for the funeral. And he recently took it down for her to wear when his birthday comes around. So it's not an easy thing for the children. I think the bigger ones are getting over it, but sometimes even I remember songs he would sing, like my daughter, my bigger daughter, the tears would come to her eyes. And even my first son, though they had their beef, but he would say, "But I'm missing my father, hey boy, I'm missing my father." So definitely an easy thing, and the thing children really get over it. Like the parent, like me, probably I can move on, even though sometimes still, reflect. But with children, I don't think they ever get over it. And as Brother Leslie said, there are certain things they don't share and they internalize. But all in all, with how each of one of us supporting each other, I think eventually we will just accept and move on.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing with us how your children dealt with that. And of course, each child deals with it differently. They find different ways to cope. Now, I noticed that, well, we all know that some of you have remarried. So just share with us, how did your new marriage or relationship affect your children? How did your new marriage affect your children? Okay, sis. Yes, go ahead, sister.
Um, I would not say it affected them negatively. Um, my son, for example, as I said, he has that bond with me. We are very, very close. And for him, once I was happy or I'm happy, he's okay. And he's when I shared with him and I was seeing Mr. Leslie, he was like, he smiled, he watched me, he said, "You happy?" I said, "Well, yes, I'm happy." He said, "You sure you happy?" I said, "Yes." He said, "If you're happy, I cool. Once you're happy, I cool." And he said, "But he's a nice man. He's a good man. I know that man long time, and he's a man that make you happy." And he reminds me of daddy too, you know. He reminds me of daddy. Once you are happy, mommy, and if he'll make you happy, I am happy. I cool with that. Go ahead, mommy. Be happy. Enjoy your life. I cannot fulfill certain things for you. I cannot even be there for you every day. So once you have somebody that can fulfill your heart's desire, go right ahead. Not a neck. Is that person have to go and cut the neck because it's troubling you? I could. So he was okay. For my daughter, it was a little hard because she, as I said, her bond, her father, very, very close to her father. And she didn't really accept it too readily. Um, but she knew him well before, so she felt that he was a good person. And she said, "Well, you don't like to be lonely. You're afraid to be alone. You don't enjoy yourself and your loneliness and your freedom. You want to tie yourself? Well, tie yourself. Tie yourself. You don't enjoy your freedom. So if you think tie yourself will make you happy, go ahead." But she was still kind of reserved in that area. But eventually she caught on and she is quite comfortable now. Yeah.
Well, for my part, can I say it rough? I say it rough and smooth. Everybody big at their home and everybody do what they want. um, I'm just joking, really. The What can I say about it? Like I said, my son is not at home; he's far away, and I share the thoughts with him. He, I think he supported it. Um, I believe I don't want to really comment on certain things that wasn't revealed, but we shared it. I told him about it. I told him about it. I think he supported it, and I think he realized, boy, that he can't be alone. And for my daughter, I think the support came after time. From my observation, it was not easy to accept. But after time evolves and quite a lot of revelation, I think she realized the decision. As a matter of fact, the decision, she has been a beneficiary of the decision. And it was well engineered like that because she had lost her mom, never not to return in this life. So she would not get a biological replacement, but she needed somebody giving her support system. Bear in mind, she had not have any. Yes, she had the son already, but she needed a support system as well. So both revelation and demonstration by this lady sitting on my right there, she realized, boy, she her expression is saying, boy, my father has always been a wise man. That's all I can say.
Well, I have 4 children. In fact, 5. 3 readily accepted and 2 a bit skeptical. But eventually, they came on board and everybody is, Mommy, once you're happy, I am happy. It's your happiness. I don't take away your happiness from you. So once you're happy, I am happy. I'm for it. So I don't really, right now, I don't really have a problem or I'm not in any doubt or reconsidering. So I look it tough for my last daughter, as everybody would know. Not everybody, but most of you would know. But she has come on board and she keeps on saying, Mommy, is your happiness. I want you to be happy. So all is one talk. Mom, once you're happy, Mommy, once you're happy, we are happy for you. So I don't have a problem.
Quite interesting.
Okay, really enjoying the whole conversation. Moving on. How long do you think is an appropriate time after your spouse die that you should get remarried? That is for those of you that got remarried after.
It's a personal choice.
I believe that couples need a time for grieving. Um, and there is no set time you can give anybody. Some people go as far as 6 months, 7 months, 5 months. I know a person 3 months.
Wow.
For me, it was 2 years after I got married, but I started the relationship 1 year after. Got married in the second year. I need that space, that time to grieve off. And but the fact is, the person is not coming back. The person is, biblically, is until death do us part. From the day the person dies, you have done your part. You have done your part, right? The Bible says it clearly, until death do us part. But the vow says it too, until death do you part. And you're not expecting the person in America and person is coming in next flight, hoping to see the person next day, and you sit down there just crying every day, grieving like it might kiss every time I open this door. And I enter the house, this loneliness comes in and this pain is there, and this, you laugh with friends outside and you look okay, like you have it all set and you have you still feel that lump, that pain is there. And so it all depends on the individual. Um, if you are like some cases, you may have family members, as my husband said, that was living with him. There was somebody home that you could relate to and maybe laugh a lot or whatever. But when you're alone, it's not easy. And like Sister Alfred, young children, it's a little different. I had grown adults. My daughter, as I said, moved to Cuba so quickly afterwards to study, and you're alone. Bible says not good a man should be alone. So it all depends on individual situation. There's no set time. It's you and the individual.
My comments are similar, and there's no need to repeat the same thing.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we are coming down to the end of our program. We are nearing the end. So let me just ask quickly, how do you avoid the comparison with old and new spouse? How do you avoid it?
That question not for me.
At least,
No, the last one
not
will
yet,
be for you.
not yet for you. One of the first things that I believe is in choosing your mate again, it's wise. It may be because you have lived happily with your previous mate. They search sometimes someone similar and similar ways. And you can never get two people of the same, you can never get two persons to match. But in your search, you, the fact that you had a good life before, something drives you to look for someone of similar lives. Now, if that works for you, your comparison, your mental comparison will have started on a point of erosion. So you will not be thinking about it. However, I will really want our listeners and those of us listening to us, try not to make comparison and say, my first wife was that and this was that. That can lead into trouble in the marriage. I can tell you that. And if it does come to your mind, challenge yourself and try to eliminate it from your mental thinking because you do not have the same person with you. It's a relatively new life. It's a new beginning. It's a new start. You know in each other. And that doesn't mean some things will not hit you, but you have to, in your mind, process it and tell yourself this is a different person. And caution again, none of the parties should say my first husband was and my first wife was. It is not. These statements will not be a building of process for that new marriage. It will be a move towards undermining the marriage because a totally new venture, totally new. So what can happen though is if God allows and time, you rub on each other. One will becoming like the other and so forth. Because you can share and say, I don't like to see that skirt on you. I prefer to see that one. So those are little techniques. But the word of caution is avoid comparison to all the extent. And even if it does hit you mentally, try to avoid it and try never to repeat it. So that's my word of advice, really.
In addition to what he says, treat it like it's a new marriage. It's just like the first time you got married, you had nobody to compare to. I don't know for others, but for me, I had nobody to compare to. So it was like, this is my husband. I make it work. The important is making him happy. He makes me happy. And I treat this marriage like it's, I feel like I'm a sweet 16 again. And I just got married. I'm treating it like a new marriage. And that's what I'm doing.
Um,
Sister Robin, where are you?
Friday. Sister Leslie, I agree with you, your last comment. No two persons are the same. First of all, everybody know what I was a fit, tall man. If it's a short, little man, no comparison there. what I could do or probably manage to do, I can allow think or want to run up to do that. So no two persons are alike. And as Sister Leslie said, it's like I'm sweet 16 and I'm the new married, my first marriage, so I have nobody to compare him with. So we just our union.
Okay. Thank thank you very much. And I must say, for the new couples I'm seeing here, the wives especially, they have this special glow. Miss Leslie have been glowing ever since. She have this special glow,
Sure.
and Sister Collier start glowing up too.
Especially in the mornings.
Oh boy. Okay, we'll have our final question.
All right, our final question, and that's directed directly to Jasmine. Do you plan to get remarried?
To tell you the truth, I'm not sure if I want to get married. I'm not sure if I want to get married again. Trust me. I don't know if it's because my kids are young, but I have no plans of getting married again. Maybe not now. I don't know.
All right. And that's okay. Yeah.
My husband had died, and even after he died, I said, me, I'm not getting married again. Married. But almost 5 years now since my husband died, and God gave me a gift. I accepted the gift. What else could I do? So, Jazzo, just hold on and wait. Be patient.
That's right. All in God's timing. So thank you very much to our panelists this evening for sharing. We had, it was a learning experience for some of us. It was, really good to sit and listen to your experiences and so on. So as we end for this evening, are there any closing remarks, any final words, I should say, that you may want to leave with us as we end, our panelists?
I would say that marriage is, as the Bible says, marriage is really sweet. Marriage is can be successful, and it is really God ordained. I had a 29 good years, I would say blissful years, and this is now December will give us 3 years, Mr. Leslie, and I just feel like it's great. It's really great, and people should not treat marriage as let me try. It's not a matter of try. It is something that is God ordained, and God says it will work if we make it work. Enjoy your marriage, make your spouse happy. He'll make you happy likewise. Don't think of yourself, but think of him. I always tell people, if you make that man happy, you will naturally get happiness in return. So I'm enjoying marriage.
My comment is, why should we waste God's resource?
Yes,
My comment is in the form of a question. Why should we waste God's resource? A nice young lady in church lost her husband, a man lost his wife. So why? So justice for them. Now making sense.
Amen.
That's just wasting of human, good, productive resource. And people can join their lives together to help others, help young people and so forth, and continue with your life. You understand? Sometimes when you think of wasting resource, you think of money, but that's a waste of resource. So just pray to God. It's you I coming to you. Ask God to guide you on everything, to make her as she's wrong. And those not only Jasmine, others may be in the same position. So people can join themselves together for the good of not only themselves and to help others. So why a sister should be in all that pain when there's a man in the church and someone that can assist? Hey, what kind of thing is that? Sorry for being so sarcastic.
But however, while I wouldn't want to rush Sister Alfred, your case is always different because you have young children, and this has different implications or whatever. Because in life, one has to look at, like for example, if although my children were grown, if I didn't see there is an interest or love from Mr. Leslie for my children, I wouldn't go into the relationship because my children are very dear to me. Similarly, if I couldn't cope with his daughter and his son, or I didn't have a love for them, I wouldn't go into a relationship either. You have to see these two children that he has as yours. He has my children as his. Like he has the grandchildren. As far as I concern, they are my children. They are my grandchildren. I feel connected to them like it's my biological grandchildren. In fact, mother, grandma, they call they see me, it's grandma, grandma. And we have that connection. So if you don't have that, you cannot really, you have to make sure if you are going that way, that route, or anyone who has lost a spouse or husband, they are potentially parties involved love each other's children.
Yes, marriage is God ordained, and we ought to leave everything in God's hand. Because my situation, I didn't know my future. I planned it for myself, but God had other plans for me. So marriage can work. Just allow God to direct you, but make sure God is in the center and allow God to direct, and the best will come out of your marriage. So as sister the previous speakers told advise those listening, and Sister Jasmine, just allow God to direct your path, pray, continue trusting him, and allow him to direct your path, and he'll do the best for you. He knows what is best for you, and he will always give you the best. So marriage can work, so allow God to direct when it comes to that, making that decision. Everybody listening.
Okay, death is real. Once we live in this part of this world, we will have death. The only thing is we have hope. As Christians, we have hope in God. And that's, we will see our loved ones when Jesus comes again. So that's my only hope. And everything else, I leave it in the hands of God. If God see that I need another husband, then so be it. But for now, everything is in his hands.
Okay, thank you very much, panelists. And may God continue to bless each of you.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye. Have a blessed evening.
Amen. Good night.
Good night, everyone, and thanks for having me on this panel. It was really encouraging and very informative, I should say.
You're most welcome.
Bye, everyone.
All right.
Welcome to the family. We're glad that you have come to share your life with us as we grow in love, and may we always be to you what God would have us be, a family always there to be strong and to lean on. Welcome to the family. We're glad that you have come to share your life with us as we grow in love, and may we always be to you what God would have us be, a family always there to be strong and to lean on. true family. Welcome to the family. We're glad that you have come to share your life with us as we grow in love, and may we always be to you what God would have us be, a family always there to be strong and to lean on. May we learn to love each other more with each new day. May words of love be on our lips in everything we say. May our spirit guide our hearts and teach us how to pray, that we might be a true family. Welcome to the family. We're glad that you have come to share your life with us as we grow in love, and may we always be to you what God would have us be, a family always there to be strong and to lean on, to be strong and to lean on, to be strong and to lean on.
Okay, let me just remind everyone to join us tomorrow evening as we continue our family life program. It's for the entire week. And tomorrow evening, our topic will be comparison kills. Why not love me for me, mommy? See you tomorrow evening. Have a good night, everybody.
Amen. You too, sister, and your husband.
All right.